Welcome back to the channel. ChatGPT is the biggest AI tool. So in this video, I am going to give you 25 prompts, tips, ways of using it to make your life better, to make your business go better, and for you to get the most out of it. So we are going to cover today the foundation pro moves, how to set up your prompt, how to set up your persona, how to use Canvas for multimodal work, how to do file uploads for instant context. I'm going to have a go at using voice mode, that'll test me. Then we're going to do some productivity and automation, daily briefs, real-time data, meeting minutes, an action tracker, email responder for your GPT, spreadsheet and formula helper, so you can use spreadsheets, you can create Python, etc. I'll show you how to do that, how to summarize documents, how to use projects within ChatGPT, really powerful, well worth looking at. And then we're going to go into data and decision support, so board report writer, how to create a risk register from scattered amount of data, how to do some forecast modeling, how to scenario plan, and then we'll get into some more creative stuff, marketing and creative content, content calendar builders, ad copy generators, SEO articles with citations, thumbnail and prompt designers, newsletter composers, and then finally we'll get into the strategy and leadership moves, so executive coach, stakeholder map building, tender response assistant, and then right at the end, custom GPTs and collaborations. Build your own custom GPT for your business, create a team knowledge hub, and then combine ChatGPT with other tools to finish it off. Let's get on with it. Okay, tip number one, set your AI persona for consistency. You don't want to be telling ChatGPT who you are, what your business is every time you go in. So let's set a persona. So you click onto your name down here on the left hand side and go to personalization. And then in here, you've got custom instructions. And basically you can put in your custom instructions here. Now, if you want to see what my custom instructions look like, if you go to the professor.info website, go to tools and documents, you'll get through to this page here. And if you scroll on down, you'll see ChatGPT style guide for Paul Noon. That's me. It's been downloaded 791 times. So people are using it. And when you open it, this is what you get. This document here, it talks about tone and clarity, structure and style, how I like things doing, context and expectations, image generation, how I like my images to be generated, interaction preferences, so address the reader as me. It's fine to be critical, negative, or push back. I don't want it just to keep telling me what it thinks I want to hear. Do not use AI copywriting fluff. So I want it to be a business focused response when I put stuff in. And then words to avoid and terms, so marketing cliches like ensure and leash, embark and veil, etc. You can just copy that and you can pop it into ChatGPT here. And then once you've come out of it, ChatGPT will make sure that every response that you ask for has that profile in it. Really helpful, just saves a whole load of time. There's tip number one. Let's move on. Okay, tip number two, using Canvas for multimodal work. So here we go. We have, we're going to put Canvas on. So go down here, press the plus, go down, press the plus, Canvas, and then drop it in a prompt. So create a 3-month marketing plan for the professor, include a table of weekly content themes, then generate a bar chart showing post frequency by week. Got Canvas switched on, press that, we're in ChatGPT 5. So it will spin up a canvas and allow us to have multiple bits of information going on the same canvas. I'm going to go a little bit further in a second. Okay, so we've got a 3-month marketing plan, strategy overview, grow YouTube subscribers by 20%. That would be great. Increase LinkedIn engagement rate by 15% and drive traffic to the professor.info. Gone too quickly for me. This is my target audience, content pillars. Here are my weekly content themes. So it's got me a little plan and some scheduling. There we go. And an execution timeline. And then some measurements, engagement rates, YouTube CTR. And it's produced a post frequency by week marketing plan. So I'm going to be busy, 12 things a week to be done. Now, you can go into the canvas and you can go and edit this and say, I want more growth in here. You can change some of these content pillars. You can ask for suggested edits to this plan. You can put in emojis, not sure why you would want to do that. You can add some final polish. You can adjust the reading level so you can make it more complex or less complex. And you can adjust the length, so more detail or less detail. As I say, if you go to that Canvas video that I put up, all of this is explained in great detail. We've got our diagram on this side. We've got all our text on this side. And so let's give it another job to do. Generate a professional LinkedIn banner for the professor using blue and gold, clean layout, growth focused design. Let's set that going. So we've got a graph, we've got tables, we've got the outcome of the request, and now it's generating my LinkedIn banner all on one page. And that's the beauty. You can have multimodal activities going on at the same time. You don't have to switch between one bit of software and the next. It all just happens in Canvas. Really, really useful. I use Canvas a lot and use it particularly if I am drafting a document where I want to go through the document and I want to suggest edits. I want to take bits and simplify them, make them a bit more dense, a bit more complex. If I'm creating blogs, etc., Canvas really useful. Okay, so here we go. It gave me a LinkedIn banner for the professor. Put some bloke in there with, actually we can make it bigger. Put some bloke in there with lots of hair, looking not quite as old as me. This is what I think a professor looks like. So I went in and said, I uploaded a picture of me. And then I said, put the same prompt in and said, I've attached my picture, and it produced this, which probably I wouldn't use for LinkedIn. Maybe I want to think about the picture I upload. The other one's not much better. Anyway, you get the idea. So keeping it all in Canvas. Canvas is really good. As I say, check out the video. Keeping it all in Canvas, really helpful. You can have multiple things going on, graphs, pictures, all sorts of stuff, text, etc. Really useful. Let's move on. Okay, tip number 3, don't drag all the way through massive documents. Get ChatGPT to just summarize them quickly for you. So what I've done here is I've downloaded JLR's annual report for 2025 off their website. Everything's open here, and I've got a prompt. Read this report, summarize the top 3 financial risks for the board and suggest 1 action per risk and present it in a table. So let's see what we get. Now, this is a big document, lots of detail, lots of information in this document. It's reading it. It's now generating a concise summary of the top 3 financial risks. So it's identified, JLR has identified, so this is between pages 71 and 158. Take me several hours to get to page 71. So liquidity risk, foreign currency exchange risk, credit risk. As you would expect, put it in a table, summary from the report, potential impact, recommended board action. Easy. You can copy that table to put it into other documents. Very quick, very easy way of summarizing, getting information out of a big, dense report. Great. Great company, JLR. Not a lot of risks, all very straightforward. Great company, JLR. one of our favorites. There you go. That's how you do summaries of large documents using ChatGPT. Let's move on. Okay, one of the great things you can do with ChatGPT is to work with it while you're on the road. So what I'm going to do here is create a new conversation. This is my mobile phone here, and I'm going to say, hey ChatGPT, can you help me and draft a note for my CEO on the post-16 review, in particular the impacts on universities?
Absolutely, I can help with that. Let's put together a draft. To CEO from above, the review of the post-16 review of education with a close focus on the university. I wanted to provide you with a brief overview with a particular focus on what it means for our university. In essence, the review introduces a number of changes to how post-16 education is structured, which will likely influence our student recruitment patterns, course offerings, and collaborative opportunities. For instance, the emphasis on technical and vocational pathways is likely to create a new pipeline of students who may later progress into our university's degree programs. Additionally, there are likely to be implications for how we engage with local colleges and sixth forms, potentially opening up new partnership avenues or requiring us to adapt some of our outreach strategies. Overall, the review will necessitate a strategic look at how we align our offerings with these new educational priorities and ensure that we remain an effective and relevant choice for future cohorts. I'd be happy to discuss this in more detail at your convenience. Best regards. Let me know if you'd like any tweaks.
So you can do that while you're out. When you come back into ChatGPT, then you can go to your chats and you got this draft note to the CEO, and there you go. That's all the things that I did while I was away and not on my computer. So even while you're working, you can sort of have conversations, create new chats, and then you will have them. You can get the answers straight away in ChatGPT on your mobile. But when you come back to your computer, all the stuff that you've done is there on the computer. How cool is that? Let's move on. Okay, stuff you want to get updated on regularly, information you need. We've got you. So tip number 5, create a scheduled task. So just go into ChatGPT and let me just paste a prompt here. Each weekday morning, find the top 3 credible news stories affecting UK manufacturing and technology sectors. Summarise each in 3 bullet points. Add 1 business implication per story. Set that up. So it needs to work out what it wants from you. It then needs to set a daily task. Probably ask you if you want to do notifications so that every day when you open up your computer, you've got the information you need as expected. Here we go. So it's creating a task that will run every weekday morning. Got it. I'll send you this brief every weekday, 07:30. Here's today. So this is what I'll expect. UK manufacturing steadies as JLR restarts production. OECD warns against aggressive reshoring as a resilience strategy. Gives you the information. AI adoption in personal finance hits the mainstream. There we go. It even gives you the references so you can go and have a look at those documents. If you're in auto tier 1, 2 supply chain, treat this as short-term demand bumpy. Avoid overcommitting capex until post-budget signals on incentives and energy support are clearer. So this is the business suggestion that it gives you. Cool. Every day when you come in, it'll be there. You can go into here, and here is the scheduled task. It's going to come in on Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So it goes all the way through. It's custom, and you can update it. For example, do this every 3 weeks on a Tuesday. Do that, save it. There you go. You've got a scheduled information every morning. First thing, you get that. If you want, you can get this to send it to your email box, but we'll leave it in ChatGPT for now. Let's move on. Okay, creating minutes of meetings, getting actions, etc. So here I have got a transcript of a meeting, and what I've done is say extract key decisions, actions, owners, output as a table. So you've got your transcript. Let's see what we get. Clear summary. There we go. Deadline. Who said it? Fantastic. No more confusion about who said what and when. Let's move on. Tip number 7, get ChatGPT to draft responses to your emails. Think how many you get. Come in at the weekend, after the weekend, you've got all those emails. Go through and have a look. So if you go into the settings on ChatGPT and you go to apps and connectors, you'll see here you can add in various things that you can connect. So I've got GitHub, Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive. So add your Gmail in there. You can also add Outlook and others into ChatGPT. And then you can say, go through my last 5 emails, draft a suitable response, highlight ones that require immediate attention. It's connected to my email inbox. Okay, and there we go. And we've got my 5 last emails. So something from Soundstripe, which is just marketing. You can go to the email by just opening in Gmail here. Replit product updates, a sign in to my Vibe Learn account, and avoid panic, start shopping today. We're getting near Christmas. I'm going to have to start thinking about what to get Mrs. Professor. And stability wins Getty copyright lawsuit. So it gives me a suggested reply. Thanks. Could you resend this edition? Hello, please remove this email from your marketing list. Thank you, etc. So he even tries to clean up your email box for you. So add in your email driver into ChatGPT and it will start drafting your emails for you. There you go. Tip number 7. Let's move on to tip number 8. So here I've got some sales records that I've created, and they're just dummy records. And what I'm going to do is to ask ChatGPT calculate gross margin percentage and flag any records under 20%. So spending your time working out how to make things work in Excel, etc., you can just drag the data in and get ChatGPT to do the analysis for you. Really cool. No longer do you need to have all that experience to be able to use Excel. You can just get ChatGPT to help you. Here's a summary table. Let's have a look. Go. Here's the data. Shows those that are below 20%, and it's given me a gross margin calculation. That wasn't in the original data. Just to prove that wasn't in the original data. So it's added in 2 new columns, gross margin and flagging whether it's below 20% or whether it's okay. Very, very cool. So if you wanted to create a bit of Python to say have a sales margin calculator on your desktop, then you can say create me a Python code for sales margin calculator, and ChatGPT will create you that piece of code. There we go. Simple as that. Even tells you how to run it. Open Notepad or VS Code, save it, and then you just run it like that. Very cool. If you want to know how to use Excel, if you want a formula, etc. for Excel, just ask ChatGPT. You've got data, just ask it to do the data that you need, do the data analysis that you need. You need a Python code, ask ChatGPT, and it's really good at producing this Python code. Let's move on. Okay, tip number 9, summarizing documents. So here I've got a massive document. It is the market trends report from YouTube, and I'm uploading it and I'm asking it summarize into 1 page with key trends, risks and recommended actions. So getting what you need for your business out of big documents that are produced by these massive organizations. See what we get. There we go. Concise 1-page summary of the YouTube 20th anniversary culture and trends report. Creator economy. They've paid over $70 billion. between 2021 and 23 through the partner program. I'm not getting a lot of that, but the sum. Creators now represent a global workforce spanning 100 countries in 80 languages. Very, very cool. Risks, recommended actions, etc. So you can keep up to date with all the latest information that's coming out. I know I see reports every day, new reports on AI, new reports on etc, etc, etc. What I do is take them in, get the key information, store that information, and then use that when I'm thinking about what videos to make, what blogs to write, etc. Okay, let's move on. Okay, tip number 10, using projects. Projects are one of the most powerful things you can do on ChatGPT. I've done a whole video about them up here. So go and have a look. 20 projects in there, 25 projects maybe, I don't know. There's loads of projects in there for every business. But projects are really, really cool. And so what you do is you go into projects, create a new project, decide what you want to create that project to be. So it might be blog writing, it might be something around health, it might be your board reports that you write every single month, etc. It might be all of those things. It can be any of those. So you give it a title, and then let's go in. I will show you the video scripts one, and what you do is you can upload files. So here's a file about the script structure that I like, how I like it all to be put together. This is how I'm improving my SEO strategy. So create these documents. They're not all linked, they weren't all done at the same time, but as I get new things in, I just pop them in. I created a document about creating social promotions. So this does that as well, because often I want them on top of that. And then I just go in and I say, this is for this video. Let's go right to the top. I do loads on it, and I do more, even more. Want a new mega video and scripts, video title, become a ChatGPT Pro, 20 pro tips. And then it goes through, gives me the SEO package. Do this for all of my videos. Each of the tips gives me how to present them most effectively to you. And then once I'm done, I can put the transcript in and get the video description. I can get the post for LinkedIn and X and Facebook all in one place. And then next week I just come back and I go back into my video scripts, start all again. And here's all the scripts that I've done. There's loads of them. Go. Hopefully you've watched all these videos, but all these scripts, this is how I create them. I literally just go in and tell it what script I'm trying to produce, and then it gives me a script. And then obviously go in and make sure I'm happy with it, add in more detail, if I need dummy documents, etc. All of those things. So I've got it all set up. I can even get it to do shot selection, that sort of stuff. You don't get a lot of different shots with me, but it will do that if you put it in. Okay, let's move on. Okay, creating board reports from large amounts of data. So here I have created a big data file, a year's worth of data here. I've got KPI by segments weekly, executive monthly, and operational daily data for a whole series of bits of sales data, etc., KPIs. So what I'm going to do is go into ChatGPT. There's that file. I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to say, create a 300-word board summary covering headline trends, performance highlights, and areas needing action. Use neutral business language. So it's drawing that very large file. It's a pretty big file, got lots of data. It's got multiple pages in it. It's going to have to look across multiple pages in Excel. This is really clever, isn't it? So it has found the executive monthly sheet and given us a board summary, headline trends for revenue growth end of the year down 2.3%, reflecting moderate trading softness in the final quarter. Performance highlights, gross margin stability despite variable revenue indicates improved cost control in production and logistics. Areas needing action, revenue momentum requires renewal, overall position, business remains financially healthy, etc. So from that complex data, it's produced me a report that I could send to the board based on that data. And yes, you should check it. You should absolutely check it, because if you're sending it to a board, it's got your name at the bottom. But remember, it's drawing from that data that you put in. It's drawing from that data. It's not making stuff up. So likely to be pretty good. Of course, make sure it makes sense, that it understands what the data is. But really good use of ChatGPT. Taking lots of data in, summarizing it into text. Very cool. Let's move on. Okay, managing a project. Let's see if we can get ChatGPT to help us. So here, what I've done is created this is all dummy data, but a list of disjointed notes from a team meeting, random ideas from a whiteboard that have been typed up, an email draft that was never sent, budget fragment, sticky note copied onto a Miro board, extract from a Teams chat, half-written paragraph, etc., 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 all over the place. And what I'm going to do is just drag that into ChatGPT, and then I'm going to say, from this list of issues, categorize each as financial, operational, compliance, or reputational, assign red, amber, green based on the severity, and suggest one mitigation action per item. So here we go. We've got all of those disjointed notes. It has read the documents and categorized them for the project horizon, digital skills accelerator program, finance model assumes 80% utilization, which is unrealistic. It's given it red, even tells you where it got it from. Missing data from the West Midlands Combined Authority, comms plan not yet started. Lots of information, red, green, amber. 6 issues, finance model, launch readiness, data sharing, DPIA, funding clawback, fake visuals, learner data. So, and then the 10 amber issues. So gathering a load of information, what's going on, what do we know, using ChatGPT to put it in some sort of sense. Really useful. Hope that helps. Let's move on. Okay, tip 13, and this is something I use quite a lot. If you need some sort of model data for something, then ChatGPT really good at creating that model data. So here we are in ChatGPT. I'm going to paste in generate synthetic sales data for 29-24 with columns, year, region, revenue, plot a trend line and forecast 2025 revenue by region using a linear model. So often I need to demonstrate to you some sort of activity, and I'll use ChatGPT to generate synthetic data. But you can also use it in a sort of in real life work scenarios. I recently created a model for student engagement. I needed to create a whole load of synthetic data around student complaints or queries or whatever it was, and was able to use ChatGPT to create a whole load of data that I could then run through the system to train it, test it, and just check whether things worked or not. So synthetic data, really useful thing that we have that you can use ChatGPT for. And here we go. It thought for 54 seconds. It's produced some regional sales data graph for North, Midlands, South, Scotland, Wales. There we go. It's not quite as big as I'd hoped. So it's created this synthetic data and a forecast for the next few years, next year. Here's the data. Here's the forecast by region, and it's given me a whole load of files I can download. It's told me what it's generated. It's given the forecast by region, pros and cons, because I have pros and cons set in my ChatGPT setup. So it always gives me pros and cons, even give me some citations of the methods it used. There you go. Tip 13, synthetic data, creating forecast modeling. Let's move on. Okay, so we've created our data and we've created a forecast, and I'm in the same prompt. What I'm going to do is go here, and what I want to do this time is create some scenarios, some sort of plus 15%, plus 10%, etc., minus 15%. So I've created a prompt here using the 2025 forecast model, 3 scenarios. Best case plus 15%, likely is the base case, worst case minus 10%. Show total revenue, profit margin, and staffing needs, present as a comparison table and short narrative. Okay, so this gives you an idea of how, when you've got some data, creating that scenario data is relatively straightforward using ChatGPT. It will do the work for you. It generates the best case, likely case, worst case, simple scenarios, and then gives you a summary. In the base case, 2025 revenue is projected to be 1.76 billion, delivering roughly 388 million of profit at a 22% margin. Strong year plus 15 lifts revenue to 2 billion, adding nearly 60 million in profit. If demand weakens, revenue falls to 1.5 billion, reducing profit to about 39 million. So by using the data that I created, you saw me create it, I've now been able to create this scenario activity. Okay, let's go on. Okay, let's get into some creative marketing stuff. ChatGPT is really good for that. So I've created a prompt, create a 30-day content calendar for the professor. Target UK SME owners aged 40 to 60. Themes, productivity, innovation, AI, include platform, title, and call to action. See what we get. So ChatGPT is really good on this creative stuff. It will think through LinkedIn, blog, Twitter, X, etc. It's done this really quickly. It's given me titles. It's given me the call to action. So giving me an idea about what I can do each day. It's given me in a format that I can just drop into a document. And of course, what I would then do is go off and say, right, I want a LinkedIn post, why productivity matters after 40 in your SME. So write a post around that, give it the CTA, and it will give me something that meets all of these requirements. Blog for the website, etc. There we go. 30 days of content ideas, gives me tips. Use LinkedIn or your blog as the anchor platform. Use shorter formats, Twitter, X, and YouTube Shorts to drive engagement. Offer something downloadable, worksheets, etc. Oh, and don't forget, you can get all of these prompts in the worksheet off the website, theprofessor.info, all free. Go and download it, knock yourself out. And pros and cons as usual. So there you go. How to instantly create a whole load of themes and content for a content calendar for your business. And of course, I upload about the professor all the time, so it knows it, thinks that's the business, so that's why it's done that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, sticking with the creative, let's actually create some copy for this sort of stuff. So got a prompt here. Write 3 LinkedIn ads for our AI training for managers program. Audience are UK business leaders aged 40 plus. The goal is webinar signups. And the first one should be professional. B should be relatable. C should be punchy. See what we get. And I find this is a really useful way to use ChatGPT to have that sort of professional, reliable, punchy, and then you can get to see the difference and decide what works best for your audience. So here we go. AI for managers, lead with confidence in the age of automation. AI isn't about coding, it's about leadership. Join our free webinar, blah, 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 blah. The relatable one. Think AI is just for tech people. Think again. It's true. Think again. You don't need to be a data scientist to lead in the AI area. This session breaks down what managers actually need to know. No jargon, no hype. And then punchy, still managing without AI. You are falling behind. AI isn't the future, it's today's advantage. So I guess you might, well, if you've been watching my videos for a while or reading my blogs, you've probably seen all 3 of these approaches to me talking about AI. But there you go. That is number 16, tip number 16. That is all about creating content. Let's move on. Okay, keeping with the creative theme, how to create articles. So I've got a prompt here. Write a 900-word article titled AI for SME Leaders in 2025. The tone should be authoritative yet accessible, include APA citations with live URLs and a meta description under 155 characters, which is what you need for a website. Now, as I set this off, it will go. Now, what I actually do is I have created a project for blogs where I've uploaded my style, the words I want to use, previous blogs I like to give a sense of structure, etc. So that's what I do. But just going in cold, there you go. You get a AMI for SME leaders. Nice, short and punchy. Got a nice table in there. Downsides and risk factors, strategic actions. I wonder if this is 900 words. Example use cases, automating customer support, etc. Final thoughts. Fantastic. Now, has it given me the metadata? It did. Here, meta description, practical guide for SME leaders, how to adopt AI in 2025, key benefits, risks and strategic actions for your business. There we go. Now, obviously, you need to look through this. You need to make sure it's in your voice. You need to make sure that it works. You could just drop it into Canvas and then start doing that editing. But this gives you a start for your blogs to get your ideas out there. Fantastic. Let's move on. Tip number 18, we're still being creative. Now, not only can ChatGPT help you with documents, with blogs, etc., it can also help you with images. So we're going to start off with a prompt that says, write me a DALL-E prompt for a YouTube thumbnail about AI tools that save time. The style should be in Coventry blue and gold, 16:9 ratio, professional lighting, one-off visual twist. Add one visual twist. So here it is giving me a prompt, and this is something to really think through. Rather than always try and go in with the prompt, go in and ask ChatGPT to create the prompt. Or you can say, create a prompt, ask me questions until you're 100% sure, and then you'll develop a prompt within ChatGPT that will work. So let's have a look. We've got a prompt, looks pretty cool. We want create an image. Actually, it would probably just go and create the image, but I'm doing that so that it doesn't mess up. Drop the prompt back in. Let's see whether we get a thumbnail in the correct format that makes sense. So AI tools that save time. Remember, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. So it's given me 16:9, which is always good. I used to spend quite a lot of time trying to get the correct format. And I sort of got into the situation where if you didn't give it your first time, start again. But doing much better now. Let's come back when it's done. And here we go. We've got our thumbnail, AI tools that save time. It's put a sort of bird on there. Is that a phoenix perhaps with an AI hand? It's quite creative, and it's got clock. And then they've given me a second one, so the text isn't quite right here, but got a robotic or hand, and then a robotic phoenix, and time being saved. Just about right. Well, anyway, gives you an idea. So definitely DALL-E has improved, or ChatGPT image creator has improved so much over the last 18 months. And now it's really worth having a go. Often gets the text right, used to never get the text right. And if you use ChatGPT to create your prompts, then you are likely to get something much better out of it than just sort of thrashing away with your own prompts. Okay, let's move on. Okay, repurposing your work. So I created a blog 2 tips ago. So now I want to summarize this article into a 100-word newsletter blurb, add a subject line under 60 characters and a CTA to read or watch. And I will just paste in the shift and enter, knocks it down just in case. Paste in that blog we created. Let's see what we got. So you're creating blogs, you're creating content, whether it's videos, you're creating white papers, summarize them, put them into a newsletter, create the newsletter, and then you are out with other bits of activity that is pushing people back to your website. Really cool. There we go. Newsletter blurb, 100 words, subject line, AI in 2025, a business imperative for SME leaders. And then AI has moved to optional, from optional to essential, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Read the full article or watch the breakdown on YouTube. How cool is that? How quickly can you get your voice out there? Can you market around the voice? Get stuff out on LinkedIn, X, Facebook, whatever it is, and reuse that to get the most out of the work that you've put in. Really useful. Let's move on. Okay, one of the really useful things you can use ChatGPT for is learning or coaching. So you can even use ChatGPT as your executive coach. So I've got a prompt here. Okay, all in the pack. You can just go and download. You are my executive coach. Ask me 5 probing questions about this decision. We're considering expanding our AI training offer to Europe. Challenge my logic, highlight risks, and suggest reflection prompts. Okay, let's go. 5 probing questions to help you think deeply. Strategic clarity. What are the core strategic reasons for expanding to Europe? Growth, brand influence, funding, opportunities, competitive positioning. Reflection prompt. If this expansion didn't generate immediate revenue, what strategic benefit would still make it worthwhile? Goes on market differentiation, operational readiness, risk and compliance, cultural and pedagogical fit. It's asking me questions. And then what you can do is go through, you can actually ask it to give you question one at a time and then follow on. You can answer these questions and ask it to give you more in-depth, to dig deeper. Just using ChatGPT to work through a particular problem will help you think about it creatively and more expansively. Let's move on. Okay, let's do some stakeholder analysis. So I've created a document here with a stakeholder list of people that are involved in the professor's business. I'm going to put in a prompt, categorize each by influence and interest, put on a 2x2 matrix and summarize engagement actions. So we've got a list of stakeholders, we know how we engage with them, etc. Let's try and work out who the key people are. So high influence, Coventry University Group, sponsors and brand partners, WMCA. These are high influence and high interest. High influence, low interest, policymakers in DFE, university leadership, they're not interested. Low influence, SME business leaders, YouTube subscribers, AI Skills Academy team, the professor production team, and but they've got high interest. And then low interest, low influence, alumni, competitors, media and press, student, community organizations. Then it says manage, it tells me what I should do with each one. So manage closely, build deep partnerships, keep satisfied, maintain confidence and strategic alignment, keep informed, strengthen commitment, monitor, maintain awareness. And we've got a summary of who gets what. Really good. You've seen in just a few seconds, you can get an insight, you can start building your plans and how best to support your stakeholders. Really, really useful. Okay, let's move on. Tip 22, and let's be a little bit careful about this. So this is using ChatGPT to help you start building out your response to a tender, etc. So for bidding. And what you need to be really careful. You need to be really careful because you may have information in the tender that's commercially sensitive. You may have information, you may have had to sign an NDA, which means you can't share the information that's been passed over. So you need to be careful about all of those things. But thinking about your responses to a question, put the criteria in, put your response in, get it to give you some feedback, tell it where you're missing, where you need more, etc., etc., etc. That's a really good way of using this technology. But be careful, and remember, anything that goes out is in your name, not ChatGPT's. You can't say, well, ChatGPT said this. You are saying it. So use it for the first draft, go through it, check it, make sure it's right, put it in your own words, make sure that you create your diagrams, make sure they all work, they make sense, etc. But I promise you, it can help you move more quickly with big tenders. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we are now going to take this to the enterprise level. So a custom GPT for your business. All right. So if you go into GPTs and go to explore here and then put create and then name the GPT, professor. So this is a GPT for my business, and then you put it in a short description. Then you give it some instructions. So advisors on SME growth strategy and AI training. Tone is professional, British English. Always give 3 practical actions. Don't have to worry about the conversation starters. It'll sort that out. Then what I would do here is upload what the professor's all about, the kind of products and services, who we've worked for, information about how the business works, pricing, all of that sort of stuff. As much as you've got, bang that in, and then you end up with, create it, you end up with your own GPT, say only for you, or you can save it with you can share it with your colleagues, so you can have multiple people being able to use it, publish the GPT, and there you go, professor. And you can therefore ask it, what is my key market segment? So I would have uploaded all of that information, and here it goes. So because I haven't uploaded it, because I've just created it, you saw me create it in seconds, but it says analyze the current customers, assess value alignment, evaluate the market potential. So this is how you go about building your customer segments. So within this GPT, you can upload documents, it will learn from those documents, and then you get to a situation where you are able to say, okay, I need the next month of marketing. I need to think about how I can broaden out my customer segment. I need to, what can I do to increase my prices, etc., etc., etc. And you've got somebody that knows your business. You've got a GPT that knows your business. You can use them 24 hours a day. They don't ask for pay rises. They don't want to be paid even more. They're not looking to take your job. They're looking to support you in your job. All right, let's move on. Tip 24. So you've created your GPT. You've uploaded lots of information. You've uploaded your internal documents, etc. You can then use it to create facts, frequently asked questions, and build out a knowledge base that you can then share with your team. You can also share the GPT with your team. So you've got the latest knowledge in there. If you've got policies, etc., you put them in there, and then your team can speak to the GPT, have a conversation with the GPT, and ask it questions about the business and get answers based on the information that's been put in. So create a knowledge base, use it as your interaction with your team so they can understand what's going on. Keep your eye on it. If it starts going wrong, you need to change the documents. You need to give it new instructions. You can build on your GPT and build your business. I've used it. I do it. I use this for the professor. I've got all the information in there. And so I can go in, I can ask it questions. I can ask it to give me ideas. Really, really useful. Let's move on. Okay, tip number 25, using ChatGPT with other AI tools. So I've gone back to the trends, the YouTube trends document, summarize this doc into 5 slides, create a prompt for Gamma to generate a deck, suggest 3 supporting images for Canva using DALL-E prompts, then write an intro paragraph for a Notebook LM notes. Now, there are videos on Gamma. There are videos on Canva and there are videos on Notebook LM on my site. I'll put a link down below to all of those videos, so if you want to go and check them out afterwards. But let's have a look and see what it does. Concise breakdown, 5-slide summary for Gamma. You can just take this summary, drop it into Gamma, produce your 5 slides. You can grab all of that. Gamma prompt, create 5-slide presentation deck called YouTube at 20, the Entertainment Revolution. These are the 5 different slides. 3 Canva image prompts, create an image, creative collage showing iconic YouTube moments, early vlog cameras, gaming controllers, music notes, etc. And then a Notebook LM intro paragraph. You drop it into Notebook LM. This is the intro paragraph for it. All done using multiple tools really will 10x your ability to get the most out of this software. Really fantastic. Hope you get lots out of that. Okay, so we've just learned 25 professional ChatGPT moves, real business use cases with demos and prompts. We've turned it from a search engine into something that analyzes data, produces outputs, links in with other programs, and even you can use it to act as your executive coach. Now it's your turn. Download the prompt pack. The link is in the description down below, and try some of these out for yourself. Try some of them out for your business. Have a play with them, see whether they work or not. Try creating some dummy data and then doing some analysis of that data. This video is here for you to take this and build on it with your business. And as I've said, as I've pointed out, as we've gone through, there are deep dives into Canvas and projects and custom GPTs and Notebook LM and Canva and Gamma and lots of other things on the YouTube channel. So go and have a look, pick them out, and hopefully you'll be able to build up your knowledge about how to use these tools. So I release a video every week. I'm always looking for great ideas. I really love some feedback from you. So if you want me to do a video on any specific area that I've talked about today, or there's another area of AI that you're particularly interested in, then drop me a comment down below. It'd be great to hear from you, and it helps get the video out there so that more people can see it. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps me. I'm up to 9,500 subscribers as of making this video. My aim is I'm really trying to get to 10,000 by Christmas. So if you're not subscribed, drop me a subscribe. That would be really great. Don't forget to like the video if you've got some value out of it. I've been the Professor. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.